felt frightened. It was all so strange. A cold horror came over me, and I hid myself under the blanket. But I felt no better in the darkness under the blanket. I thought of a boy who had got a thrashing one day in my presence, of his screams, and of the cruel face of Foka when he was beating the boy. "Then you won't do it any more! You won't!" he repeated, and went on beating. "I won't," said the boy, and Foka kept on repeating over and over, "You won't! You won't!" and did not cease to strike the boy. That was when my madness came over me for the first time. I burst into sobs, and they could not quiet me for a long while. The tears and despair of that day were the first signs of my present trouble. I well remember the second time my madness seized me. It was when Aunt was telling us about Christ. She told his story and got up to leave the room, but we held her back. "Tell us more about Jesus Christ," we said. "I must go," she replied. "No, tell us more, please," Matinka insisted, and she repeated all she had said before. She told us how they crucified him, how they beat and martyred him, and how he went on praying and did not blame them. "Auntie, why did they torture him?" "They were wicked." "But wasn't he God?" "Be still, it is 9 o'clock. Don't you hear the clock striking?" "Why did they beat him? He'd forgiven them. Then why did they hit him? Did it hurt him, Auntie? Did it hurt?" "Be quiet, I say. I am going to the dining room to have tea now." "But perhaps it never happened. Perhaps he was not beaten by them." "I'm going." "No, Auntie, don't go." And again my madness took possession of me. I sobbed and began knocking my head against the wall. Such had been the fits of my madness in my childhood. But after I was 14, from the time the instincts of sex awoke and I began to give way to vice, my madness seemed to have passed, and I was a boy like other boys. Just as happens with all of us who are brought up on rich, overabundant food and are spoiled and made effeminate because we never do any physical work and are surrounded by all possible temptations which excite our sensual nature when in the company of other children similarly spoiled, so I had been taught vice by other boys of my age, and I indulged in it. As time passed, other vices came to take the place of the first. I began to know women, and so I went on living up to the time I was 35, looking out for all kinds of pleasures and enjoying them. I had a perfectly sound mind then, and never a sign of madness. Those 20 years of my normal life passed without leaving any special record on my memory, and now it's only with a great effort of mind and with utter disgust that I can concentrate my thoughts upon that time. Like all the boys of my set who were of sound mind, I entered school, passed on to the university, and went through a course of law studies. Then I entered the state service for a short time, married, and settled down in the country, educating, if our way of bringing up children can be called educating, my children, looking after the land, and filling the post of a justice of the peace. It was when I'd been married 10 years that one of those attacks of madness I suffered from in my childhood made its appearance again. My wife and I had saved up money from her inheritance and from some government bonds of mine which I had sold, and we decided that with that money we would buy another estate. I was naturally keen to increase our fortune, and to do it in the shrewdest way, better than anyone else would manage it. I went about inquiring what estates were to be sold, and used to read all the advertisements in the papers. What I wanted was to buy an estate, the produce or timber of which would cover the cost of purchase, and then I would have the estate practically for nothing. I was looking out for a fool who didn't understand business, and there came a day when I thought I'd found one. An estate with large forests attached to it was to be sold in the Pensa government. To judge by the information I'd received, the proprietor of that estate was exactly the imbecile I wanted, and I might expect the forests to cover the price asked for the whole estate. I got my things ready, and was soon on my way to the estate I wished to inspect. We had first to go by train. I had taken my manservant with me, then by coach with relays of horses at the various stations. The journey was very pleasant, and my servant, a good-natured youth, liked it as much as I did. We enjoyed the news.